It's a beautiful Wednesday morning here in Nigeria. Thank you for joining us on Newspaper Review and High Impact Television. My name is Godstime David. We have our guest joining us from Lagos State. His name is Olaleko Otun. He is a broadcast journalist and a public affairs analyst. Good morning, Doctor. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning.
Can you hear me?
Hear you clearly. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
All right, Doctor, let's begin with the story on the Punch newspaper. That's the story making rounds on virtually all newspapers this morning. That's the story of the IPOB. It says, IPOB and MASSOB members asylum. Federal government may summon British envoy Ohaneze Afenifere back United Kingdom. Now, the federal government is really angry at the United States government for making plans to offer asylum to persecuted, not persecuted, for persecuted members of the indigenous, that's Biafra. How do you react to this? Do you think that the United Kingdom made a proper investigation before making plans to do this back-ends?
Yeah, you always realize that IPOB, PANDEV, Pan-African, Pan-Nigerian Data Forum, the Afenifere are all classified as socio-political cultural group by the Gazette of the UK government that was released at the worldwide www. And that Gazette is saying that IPOB members are being hunted by the federal government of Nigeria in the east, and we've also seen series of videos about that. So Afenifere supporting IPOB, PANDEV supporting IPOB, I think is on the right path, and they are right. The most important and the most significant terrorist group that the federal government of Nigeria should fight or should go after, should proscribe, is the Miyetti Allah. Miyetti Allah has been ranked as the second most deadliest jihadist Janjaweed in the world, and it's beyond the federal government of Nigeria to go after that first before going IPOB. IPOB is a separatist movement, it's a socio-cultural movement, and as things are, it shows that the federal government will soon come after the Dudua or Yoruba separatists or secessionists.
If I may, sorry to interrupt you. You said the federal government is against IPOB, that the federal government is against them, and you've seen videos. I have not seen videos, so where are you getting these details from?
If you go online and you search the website of the UK government, you will see some of the details. Why the UK government and all foreign missions are sympathetic to IPOB. The IPOB is not yet perceived as a terrorist organization. It's seen as a movement agitating for sovereignty or self-determination of the southeast of Nigeria. Just like every other, it's not yet classified as a terrorist group. The one that has been classified as a terrorist group by an international body, which is the Miyetti Allah, is what the federal government should focus its attention on. And then federal government, if they want to quell the insurrection or the agitation in the south, to do the proper thing by extending infrastructure, the extend appointment to citizens of the southeast. What they're saying, what they're saying in essence is that there is no representation in the government as of today, adequate representation, and the same thing.
Mr. Otun, the conversation now is federal governments getting angry or taking a swipe at the United States government for planning to offer the Biafrans asylum. That's the conversation. Now, do you think that's the federal government, because the federal government has described that act as disrespectful, do you think that act is respectful, or the United Kingdom has every right to do that?
They've got every right. They've got every right. The UK government has got every right to do that, and it is not disrespectful to the federal government of Nigeria. The same federal government that we're talking about, the table has just turned the other way around. When we're having a June 12 agitation, we had people from Nigeria going on asylum, and they were granted asylum in the UK, the same UK, and they were granted asylum in US too. So the same thing is applicable now. So to this situation. So what we need to do is to come back home and put our homes right. We will be more patriotic. Look at the agitation of IPOB. Look at the
Are you there? Are you there, Mr. Dotun? Okay, network is not friendly. We would have him join us in the course of this conversation. We're still taking a look at stories on the Vanguard newspapers. The story on the Vanguard newspapers says, all 6 English clubs withdraw from Super League amid outrage. That's the conversation surrounding Super League for some days now. George Floyd killings, United States ex-police officer Chauvin found guilty on all counts. Federal government fumes as United Kingdom offers asylum to IPOB and MASOB members. FRSC signs on to United Nations' second decade of action for food safety. Agitators to secession can't bully President Buhari. That's coming from presidency. More than 650,000 children in 3 African countries gets malaria vaccine. WHO. We have Mr. Olalekan Otun back. Continue. We have you back. Thank you for joining us. Can you hear me?
Clearly.
Yeah. So you were talking about the rights that the United Kingdom has to offer asylum.
Exactly. It is the Home Office right in the UK to grant asylum, and they've already designated this, and they are already going ahead to grant asylum to IPOB. If there are members of Pandep that even apply for asylum in UK, it will be granted. The table has just turned around, like I said. The same process that was applied to the struggle of June 12 is what has applied to us now. So federal government should come back home and put our own right. The granting of asylum by UK for these individual citizens is within the fundamental human right and the global Magna Carta. So I think it's right.
All right, let's move away from the story. I'm sure there'll be updates on the story. Let's move away from this to another story. This one is on insecurity. Breaking news came up this morning how that a private school in Kaduna was attacked by gunmen this morning. Now, you would recall that for quite some time now, we've had insecurity issues and abduction and kidnaps of school children. Now, what do you have to say? Do you think we're making progress when it comes to security or securing lives of schools and students attending the schools?
Well, I think specifically in Kaduna, majorly in Sango Kata, Southern Kaduna, we are beginning to lose our grip on insecurity in Kaduna State. The federal government needs to beef up security, and the state government need to do something about it. Carry on what is called community mobilization. Use vigilante. Get informants to tell you how come schools are being attacked. 200, 300 are being driven in kilometers far away from the major school. By who? By Boko Haram? By who? By jihadists? By who? By bandits? We are saying that the new IG need to buckle up, and then we're saying that we're losing this. We're losing the fight against insecurity in Nigeria. That is exactly where we're showing to the external world, to the international community, that we're not yet there in terms of security.
Now, given the extent to which these kidnappings have taken place for some time now, one would have thought that most of the schools in their communities or the security officials in those communities would beef up security. Do you think that the Nigerian police or security agencies are not doing anything, are not doing enough to ensure that lives and properties are safe?
They are trying their best, but their best is not enough. It's this same security we're talking about. I'm there. Can you hear me? Can you hear me clearly now?
I can hear you. I can hear you.
I'm saying that security, Nigerian police force, Nigerian army, officers in general are trying their best, but they will need to do more. They will need to secure schools, not only in the northeast, not only in Kaduna, but the whole of Nigeria. Community policing we need to begin. We need to decentralize policing in Nigeria. The idea of federal government, the federal government needs to remove policing from the main bill and transfer this to state police. From state police to come to community police. There is no way somebody will attack a whole community and that is watchful, and then they will not be there. Where is the resistance? How come school is not the next target? So it shows that we need to do more. Not only the police, the community, the intelligence, the intelligence environment. Then when this thing has spread, it has already spread through the whole of northeast of Nigeria, and now it's coming to Kaduna. From Kaduna to come to Abuja. From Abuja it will now begin to spread to Niger, down south, and we've seen the pattern.
Ms. Otun, do you think that priority should be given, because it is seeming like the schools are actually the target, because you have kids there and parents are also looking out for their kids? Do you think that priority should be given to places where securities should be beefed up?
Exactly. Schools are now the target in the northeast. Schools are now the target in Kaduna. So we need to beef up security around schools in the northeast, and that's exactly what the state government has done. They had a sensitization workshop in Alausa a week ago, trying to tell the schools what to do in case of attack in southwest Nigeria, specifically in Lagos. So they need to up the ante. They need to beef up security around schools in Kaduna specifically, and in northeast Nigeria, to ward off banditry, to ward off kidnapping, to ward off attacks on schools.
Away from that story to the story is still on the Vanguard newspaper. It's talking about Dr. Issa Pantami. The calls for Dr. Issa Pantami to resign has been on since last week, and the conversation is still on. As a broadcaster, do you think, on a personal note, that he should resign?
He should resign. A simple, straightforward answer: Mr. Pantami, the honorable minister, should resign. He's got loads of baggage with him. He has not even denied that all of those statements. The fact that he has not denied those statements means he's an admittance. And if the fact that during the ICT workshop, he refused to grant press conference or talk to the press is an indication that he has something in his cupboard. In fact, in a normal climb, in a same climb abroad, Mr. Pantami could have resigned by now, voluntarily by himself. And my opinion, my simple suggestion to him:
go ahead.
Resign, and honorably.
Now, there are speculations on social media, Twitter to be specific, saying that the presidency, since he has refused to resign, and because I saw a statement where he tweeted that he had nothing to do with it, and Nigerians misinterpreted his comment. Now, there are speculations and conspiracy theories on Twitter that the presidency should have at least known about his background before nominating him to the position. Now, do you think that the presidency at this time should release a statement?
The presidency is even foot dragging in releasing statement on Pantami, and that is absurd. That is apologetic enough. By now, the president should throw out the baggage of Honorable Minister Pantami, and should offload. If we are serious about fighting banditry, if we are serious about fighting religious extremism, if we are serious about fighting Boko Haram, the minister that has been traced is sympathetic to these yadis should please resign from this government, to give this government a sense of belonging, a sense of direction that we are serious about fighting this Boko Haramism. So Mr. Minister should please forgive Nigerians. He should please honorably resign. At least set the pace. If Chief Mrs. Kemi Adeosun, the former Minister for Finance, can resign over that simple allegation, he should also resign over this big allegation. Don't forget, he can be picked up also, either in Abu Dhabi, either in Dubai, whenever he travels out of this country. He's on the watch list of the US government.
Still talking about allegations and resignation. This morning, there is a story on the Guardian newspaper that the Senate probes CCT chairman for allegedly assaulting security man. I'm sure that the story is not news to you. Now, when you saw the story, how did this make you feel?
The story of the CCTV Code of Conduct Tribunal chairman is another laughable incident in Nigeria. I don't know how come our people have not developed that sense of responsibility, social responsibility of public decorum. That if from what we watched on that video, by now I think you ought to have resigned. The arrogancy of people in this government is too much. If Mr. President is not doing his job, some of us should be bold enough to tell him that this presidency, this government is decaying, and he should throw that man.
I think that for the Senate to have probed him, that's a step forward. I think for him to have been probed, that's a step forward by the government to see that this is brought to book.
The analysis is taking so long a time to probe him. From the evidence is glaring enough, but maybe we should just go there and admit to misconduct, public misconduct, and even MBA is on his heels now. By now, I think with that public outcry, if we are really in the same climb, those people, Patami, CCTV chairman, tribunal chairman should have resigned from this government by now. It is high time we start doing things properly in this country. Thank you.
All right, let's move away from Nigeria very quickly before I let you go this morning. Yesterday, we got a report that the president of Chad died. That's Idris Deby. He died of injuries over the weekend. He was involved with the clashes in the northern region of Chad. The story of his death was not the only shocking news yesterday. His son has been nominated the interim president within the next 12 months. Now, that story rose lots of criticism yesterday as a lot of persons wondered what happened to the VP. What is the future of Chad, considering he is inexperienced?
His son was not only nominated as Zoom power, and he said it's on interim transition for the next 18 months. The vice president whereabouts should be disclosed to the international community. His case is, he has a precedent. The president of Dasimbe Eyadema of Togo died, and his son automatically became the president. And that is the irony, the trajectory of African leaders. That is, your son has to assume leadership when you die. Is it a family royalty? It's not. What happened to the vice president constitutionally? And you also will have heard that there were killings of some generals. Those generals that were killed must have been the ones that are in opposition to the son coming up as the president. Well, to Nigeria, where it affects us is in the fight against insurgency. It's in the fight against Boko Haram. I pray that we will be able to sustain this particular Chad will be able to sustain Chad contribution to this particular Boko Haram fight, to insurgency coming from banditry that is going to be exported from Chad to Nigeria. And Chad has been Idris Deby has been very good, has been very cooperative with ECOWAS, with Nigeria in fighting insurgents. But this development is not a good news. It's not pathetic enough to an average African. It portrays us to the outside world as a banana republic, a banana continent. We assume that his deputy would have, the vice president would have assumed power under a constitutional provision, following the constitution. But now that we have his son, let's see what comes up between now and the next 18 months. What we can predict what will happen. The son, we go campaigning. We transmute from a military general to a civilian one, and that is what has happened. That same thing happened in Egypt, where we have the high-handedness of the Egyptian leader, and the same thing will happen. That has happened in Togo will happen in Chad. The son will transmute to a civilian democracy, a civilian leader, and I'm not sure of the quality of democracy, of voting that will happen during election that is going to be supervised by himself. So
Certain, we can't be so sure, because as it is, the rebel groups and the oppositions have kicked against this. So it is not seeming like it's going to be a smooth transition. But the question is, what is the future of Chad within the stipulated time that he's going to be in office? That's the question.
The question, a scenario. The question is, within that little short of period that he's in power, if he's not able to wield power adequately and to unite his people and to go to a roundtable conference with the opposition, with the rising insurgent in his country, the Chad will disintegrate. We have several controlling
Sorry,
area.
I interrupted you again. How are we sure he's going to leave office within the stipulated time, considering his father stayed in office for 3 decades and still won the election? So how are we sure he's going to leave?
His father stayed in office, in power for 3 decades, exactly 30 years. From 1990, he served from 1990 to 2021, and he has just won a 5-year term of thereafter. He would have died. He actually died in power, of course. He was given a state burial. But what we're saying is that if not well managed, if there is no international pressure on the new Chadian leader, he will continue to he will transmute from being a military leader to a civilian leader. Don't forget, he is not elected by the Chadians. He will continue to be in power forever if there is no adequate pressure, especially from Abuja. Abuja has a lot of roles to play when it comes to West Africa, when it comes to ECOMOG, when it comes to ECOWAS. So Nigeria needs to intervene in this direction and not support what we did in Togo again.
Otto, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Thank you for sharing your thoughts. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
That's all we can take this morning on Newspaper Review. If you missed the show this morning, remember to join us at 3 p.m. and 9 p.m. for details of these stories and other stories. My name is God's Time David, wishing you an amazing day ahead. And please endeavor to stay safe. Have a great day.